Okay, so this is a quick explanation of why a particular being cannot be a transcendental condition of intelligibility or knowledge or whatever else. When we're trying to figure out how the world hangs together in the broadest possible sense of the term, we might begin with a list of things that exist and how we know they exist. If there's a gap between two things, say mind and world, then we need an existing thing to link them. So, for example, God links the Cartesian mind and the Cartesian world. That's a metaphysical claim. If it's a transcendental argument, it's about the list of things that exist, then it's just a variation on earlier themes. Tag would just be Descartes' metaphysical view stated in different terms. To distinguish a transcendental argument from metaphysical claims, it can't be about a list of things that exist, right? It has to be about the conditions of thinking about that list. Imagine two scenes in your head, maybe a forest and a party. The list of things in those scenes are different. You don't need to include trees in your image of the party, and you don't need to include party goers in your image of the forest. Both images include certain conditions, however. Both the trees and the party goers have to have spatial relations. You also need some notion of quantity and lots of other things too. Here's one thing that's not included in either thought: your brain. Now, the fact of the matter is that you're using your brain to think about both images, but your brain isn't a part of the images the way space and quantity are. Your brain is on the list of things that exist, but it's not a transcendental condition of thinking about forests and parties. Another thing that isn't in either list: God. Grant, it is true that God created the world 6,000 years ago. God is still not included in the thought of the forest or the party the way space and quantity are. Even granting a creator God is on the list of things that exist, this being is still not a transcendental condition. Thinking about forests and parties. And this applies to any particular set of beings or particular being. Transcendental conditions are the conditions of thinking about lists, not parts of the lists themselves. The transcendental argument for the existence of God is just a category error.